Okay, so today's Dhamma talk, I'll dedicate this talk to and the merits for this person, this brother Uri in Slovakia. He started the Yavori Meditation Center. Well, myself, Reverend Sujiva, Brother Visu, and also Brother Dasana also taught there. In fact, Brother Dasana was the first teacher to teach there. So it's a Vipassana center, and also other form of meditation. It's a nice place, really nice place. Hopefully, one day y'all can go there. Anyway, we come back to the talk. Now, tonight's talk, before we start, I think that you have to look at the chat area or in the Facebook that I hope that y'all can able to download the file on tonight's Dhamma talk, because it's quite the chapter on the sutta is quite a long sutta. So then that time you all can able to read it after the talks or some other time. So on Monday, we discussed this cessation of dukkha, and particularly on the nature of nibbana. As I said, that this nature of cessation of dukkha, then it has to come with the cessation of tanha, or the craving. Because of this craving, then all our problems arises. So when it comes to the cessation of dukkha, then although there are many names, the Buddha gave, there are so many names for the term nibbana, but all of them share one characteristic. That is to say, either they share the ultimate peace, or they share the highest happiness, or they are all the cessation of the five aggregates. Cessation of dukkha and the cessation of five aggregates, they are the same. So nibbana has one meaning in that sense. And nibbana has can be divided into two in the sense that how they are being realized. One is that enlightened one still alive, then they able to experience the nibbana. And the second one is the arahant only. And when he have the parinibbana, or the final death, that means there will be no rebirth anymore, then it also another form of experience of nibbana. Anupadi disesa nibbana. Sa upadi sesa nibbana, for the first one. So that is for this one. Then the third one, as I said, this one is more important for the development of our insight and also towards liberation. Then the three gateway of nibbana, the three doors to liberation. So the first one is the one is signless liberation, as that those who are those who are more towards faith, then they see a lot of impermanence here. Then you have desireless liberation, and then this desireless means that those who see dukkha a lot, and because of their nature of their concentration is predominant. So the third one is the void liberation. The void liberation here for those who are more predominant in their wisdom. Therefore, they see a lot of anatta before enters into nibbana. So the third one, it's more important in that sense. Now, so yes, so also I mentioned that to understand nibbana in its whole, of course, the only thing that you can do is to realize it. Is to realize it. That cannot. No, you cannot do anything about it. You have to realize it in order to discuss the nature of Nibbana further. But it's also equally important that we can able to understand how Nibbana, how to develop, what are the experience that we have to go through before Nibbana. And what are the experience when Nibbana is being experienced, and what are the experience after you come out from Nibbana. That means after enlightenment, what will you experience? Those are also equally important. Because I think that if you do not know the path towards Nibbana, the path towards liberation, then you will simply think of anything. You will just hear of anything and you will just create in your own mind, or simply you just hear what other people say and does not want to follow what the Buddha says, and therefore you have your own sort of Nibbana, but that's not what the Buddha meant. That's not what the Buddha wished that the disciples are able to follow. So we want you to follow what the Buddha thought. So it's equally important that we understand what is happening before Nibbana, because sometimes people will think that Nibbana comes in as instant enlightenment. Suddenly, pop, Nibbana arises. No, it is. You have to work for it. And how you work for it is also mentioned in the suttas. It mentioned in the suttas. So tonight we're going to read the sutta on the Majjhima Nikaya number 24. But we're not going to read all of it because it's quite a long sutta. We're going to read maybe about 2/3 of it, or half of it. So the rest of the talk, the rest of the sutta you can read another time. So I think that in the Facebook also we already I'm not sure whether they already put up in the comments there, so that the link that you can able to download for this sutta. Hopefully it's there, but I can't see right now. Anyway, we're going to go into a screen sharing right now. Hold on. We're going to go into screen sharing right now. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, can y'all see? This is the sutta here. All right, this is the sutta. So hopefully it's that you're able to see those things. Wait, now I can't. It's all this blocking my. So this is at Majjhima Nikaya number 24, but we are not going to start from the 1. We're going to skip a bit now, a few, and then we're going to start at 8. All right. Okay. So Brother Benny, if you don't mind, we start from paragraph number 8. Thank you.
Thank you, Bante. Okay, I will begin from part 8, number 8. Okay. Then, when it was evening, the Venerable Sariputta rose from meditation, went to Venerable Punya Mantaniputta, and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous, amiable talk was finished, he sat down at one side and said to the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta, "Is the holy life live under our blessed one, friend?" "Yes, friend." "But friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the blessed one?" "No, friend." "Then, is it for the sake of purification of mind that the holy life is lived under the blessed one?" "No, friend." "Then, is it for the sake of purification of view that the holy life is lived under the blessed one?" "No, friend." "Then, is it for the sake of purification by overcoming doubt that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then, is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then, is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision of the way that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then, is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Friend, when asked, but friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? You reply, no, friend. When asked, then is it for the sake of purification of mind, purification of view, purification of overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? You replied, no, friend. For the sake of what then, friend, is the holy life lived under the Blessed One? Friend, it is for the sake of final Nibbana without clinging that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One. But friend, is purification of virtue final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification of mind final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification of view final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by overcoming doubt final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision of the way final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. But friend, is final Nibbana without clinging to be attained without these states? No, friend. When asked, but friend, is purification of virtue final Nibbana without clinging? You reply, no, friend. When asked, then is purification of mind, purification of view, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision, final Nibbana without clinging? You reply, no, friend. And when asked, but friend, is final Nibbana without clinging to be attained without these states? You reply, no, friend. But how, friend, should the meaning of these statements be regarded? Friend, if the Blessed One had described purification of virtue as final Nibbana without clinging, he would have described what is still accompanied by clinging as final Nibbana without clinging. If the Blessed One had described purification of mind, purification of view, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision as final Nibbana without clinging, he would have described what is still accompanied by clinging as final Nibbana without clinging. And if final Nibbana without clinging were to be attained without these states, then an ordinary person would have attained final Nibbana, for an ordinary person is without these states. As to that, friend, I shall give you a simile, for some wise men understand the meaning of a statement by means of a simile. Suppose that King Pasenadi of Kosala, while living at Savatthi, had some urgent business to settle at Saketa, and that between Savatthi and Saketa, 7 relay chariots were kept ready for him. Then King Pasenadi of Kosala, leaving Savatthi, through the inner palace door, would mount the first relay chariot, and by means of the first relay chariot, he would arrive at the second relay chariot. Then he would dismount from the first chariot and mount the second chariot. And by means of the second chariot, he would arrive at the third chariot. By means of the third chariot, he would arrive at the fourth chariot. By means of the fourth chariot, he would arrive at the fifth chariot. By means of the fifth chariot, he would arrive at the sixth chariot. By means of the sixth chariot, he would arrive at the seventh chariot. And by means of the seventh chariot, he would arrive at the inner palace door in Saketa. Then when he had come to the inner palace door, his friends and acquaintances, his kinsmen and relatives would ask him, "Sire, did you come from Savatthi to the inner palace door in Saketa by means of this relay chariot?" How then should King Pasenadi of Kosala answer in order to answer correctly? In order to answer correctly, friend, he should answer thus. Here, while living at Savatthi, I had some urgent business to settle at Saketa. And between Savatthi and Saketa, 7 relay chariots were kept ready for me. Then, leaving Savatthi through the inner palace chariot, I mounted the first relay chariot, and by means of the first relay chariot, I arrived at the second relay chariot. Then I dismounted from the first chariot and mounted the second chariot, and by means of the second chariot, I arrived at the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chariot, and by means of the seventh chariot, I arrived at the inner palace door in Saketa. In order to answer correctly, he should answer thus. So too, friend, purification of virtue is for the sake of reaching purification of mind. Purification of mind is for the sake of reaching purification of view. Purification of view is for the sake of reaching purification by overcoming doubt. Purification by overcoming doubt is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. Purification by knowledge and vision of what is a path and what is not the path is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision of the way. Purification of knowledge and vision of the way is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision. Purification by knowledge and vision for the sake of reaching final Nibbana without clinging. It is for the sake of final Nibbana without clinging that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One. When this was said, the Venerable Sariputta asked the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta, "What is the Venerable One's name, and how do his companions in the holy life know the Venerable One?" "My name is Punya, friend, and my companions in the holy life know me as Mantaniputta." It is wonderful, friend. It is marvelous. Each profound question has been answered point by point by the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta as a learned disciple who understands the teacher's dispensation correctly. It is a gain for his companions in the holy life. It is a great gain for them that they have opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta. Even if it were by carrying the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta about on a cushion on their heads, that his companions in the holy life would get the opportunity to see and honor him. It would be a gain for them, a great gain for them. And it is a gain for us, a great gain for us that we have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta. When this was said, the Venerable Punya Mantaniputta asked the Venerable Sariputta, "What is the Venerable One's name, and how do his companions in the holy life know the Venerable One?" "My name is Upatissa, friend, and my companions in the holy life know me as Sariputta." "Indeed, friend, we did not know that we were talking with the Venerable Sariputta, the disciple who is like the teacher himself, the Venerable Sariputta. We should not have said so much. It is wonderful, friend. It is marvelous. Each profound question has been posed point by point by the Venerable Sariputta as a learned disciple who understands the teacher's dispensation correctly. It is a gain for his companions in the holy life. It is a great gain for them that they have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Sariputta. Sariputta about on a cushion on their heads, that his companions in the holy life would get the opportunity to see and honor him. It would be a gain for us, a great gain for us, that we have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Sariputta. Thus, it was that these two great beings rejoiced in each other's
Sadhu, Brother Benny. Now, this topic, this sutta, it's a really important sutta because it is a roadmap to Nibbana. It's a roadmap. If you can understand it, that's the problem. A lot of us cannot able to understand what is going on. Now, the gist of the talk, the gist of the whole thing here, it lies in the paragraph number 15. Paragraph 15, it's the whole meaning of how the whole development or whole experiences of whatever that you are doing and experiencing, and how the development will take place, what are the purification will take place until Nibbana is realized. But the thing is that a lot of us do not understand what is really going on, do not understand what is what is going on with the whole chapter. Now this topic, although they are important, but a lot of times I think that a lot of people just disregard this one. They disregard this one. They don't realize that how important this sutta is. This sutta also becomes the principle, or become the framework for the famous Visuddhimagga, the path of purification, Visuddhimagga. Understanding this, at least you understand the path towards liberation, not just by any other means, not by any other way. But to able for us to understand this is like you must able to read the map. You must able to understand what is being mentioned here. Sometimes, like when I go for hiking, some people ask me, so how are you going from here? I want to go there. How am I going to how should I go? What path should I take? Sometimes I tell them that the path has quite a lot. There's a lot of branches here and there. Although you take this path, but there are side branches here and there. it would be good that if you can able to download some of the apps that able to show you the hiking path, They said, although we have those maps, but we do not know how to read the map or how to use the apps. But if you do not know how to use the app, you have to know how to read the map, then no matter how I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a lot of confusion. So, other words, you must able to read the map. Other words, you must know how the map will guide you, especially all the GPS will guide you. Nowadays, the hiking apps will come with GPS, come with the hiking trail, and all you need to do is just follow, but you must learn how to do it, how to read it. So do the same thing here, that when it comes into the development, that we must able to know what happened before Nibbana. What are the development that we have to go through? So tonight's talk we're going to do this one. So the rest of the suttas, I would like you to go back and read again. But anyway, we're going to explain the meaning here. There are 7 purification. Let me go to another. We summarize it. Stop share and I'll come in again. All right. I go to my this document. All right. Oh, well, one more time. Okay, can you see? Okay, can you see? Good. Now here, I summarize the whole thing. The path of purification here, there are 7 purification. There's the purification of virtue, purification of mind, purification of views, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what path and what not, and what is not path, and purification by knowledge and vision of the way, and purification by knowledge and vision. So finally, is the end Nibbana without clinging. So just like Venerable Punna Mantaniputta, not Punya, Punna, but the word is Punna Mantaniputta. So it mentions that it's like a chariot, that you have to use one chariot, and after another chariot, and after that you have to relay a relay of chariots in order for us to arrive at their destination. So too with this one also, we develop the sake of virtue is for the sake of the development of the mind. And the sake of development of the mind is for the sake of development of the views. And so on until Nibbana without clinging, right? But this, although it forms a framework, but many of us do not understand what is going on. You read and read, so without the help of a commentaries, you have no idea what is going on. With the help of somebody who can explain or explaining to you, or before that, you have no idea. So you may just brush it off. Yeah? I'm going to go on to the next slide, the next document. And it looks complicated, but it's trying to define everything here. Hopefully, for those who are on the mobile phones, you're going to have a hard time looking at it. Hopefully, you have a tablet, or you have a laptop, or you have a TV in front of you. That'll be better. Next one will be a bit more wordy, but anyway, I'm going to explain the whole thing. So no worries. All right. Okay. So here, the purification on your left, right, and the practice is on the right. So here is going to define what it means by purification of virtue. What is the meaning of this purification of virtue? There are 4 kinds of purified virtues here. But I'm not going to explain this virtue or purified virtue, because I'm going to put it on the next level, on the next on another talk when we come to the Noble Eightfold Path. We're going to explain upon that. Here of the mind, also purification of the mind, it means that development of this access and absorption concentration. That means there are various types of samatha meditation and also in a sense, and including also into the satipatthana also. Some samatha meditation, there are 40 types of samatha meditation that comes with the absorption. There are some comes with absorption, some come with excess concentration. Okay? But here, this number 2 here, purification of the mind, here for the whole purpose is to overcome the mental hindrances. Is to overcome the mental hindrances at the level number 2. So that's why it's called purification of the mind. So samatha helps to clear a lot of our gross defilements, mental defilements, and so on. Greed, hatred, jealousy, delusion. We reduce them quite a lot at this access and absorption concentration. Now, purification of view, here, that one, it begins the path of vipassana already. From purification of view starts on all the way to 7th. This one belongs to vipassana, satipatthana vipassana. It does not belong to samatha. Samatha doesn't give you this type of knowledge. Samatha give you jhana, samatha give you some psychic power, and so on. But we are not into that path. We are into the path where we're going to realize nibbana, right? Now, in the purification of view from here onwards, then you can see that under the practice again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4A, 4B, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 16. Here is the 16 insight knowledge. All right. Here's the 16 insight knowledge that it's being mentioned, and it's quite, especially if you are in vipassana, then this 16 insight knowledge is like every now and then yogis or teachers will talk about it. So this one here, the 16 insight knowledge is all the names here. And all these things, because the 16 insight knowledge here, they want to help to define, the commentary want to help to define what is the meaning of each of the purification. So the 16 insight knowledge, at times that there are monks, there are nuns, there are devotees who totally disregard this thing, totally disregard all this. They say that this one the Buddha did not teach. But of course the Buddha did not teach the 1 to 16 in that sense, but he teach the purification, and the commentary is to help us to understand what is the meaning of all these things. So it's all these 16 insight knowledge is all derived from the suttas. So it's nothing like created out of nowhere. So here, purification of view. The purification of view, before we start again with this one, here the 7th purification and all the 16 insight knowledge here, they are just like, one is you want to measure the development of a yogi, is you can measure it by purification, or you can measure it by the 16 insight knowledge. But usually I don't go and think about all your insight and so on. That one is, I just teach only. I don't think of all those things too much. It make me headache. Anyway, it's just like one is you measure it with inch, one is you measure it with centimeter. They come back to the same thing. Finally, it's nibbana. So it's just a different way of looking at it only. The purification of view here, that means it purified all the some kind of wrong view, some kind of a gross type of wrong view. Because when you do in a practice in the satipatthana or vipassana, as you start to meditate, walking, sitting, you develop your mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, penetration of the mind towards the object of the in-breath, out-breath, rising, falling, and so on. Then the first entry into the vipassana is the knowledge of discernment of mind and matter. Here, the knowledge of discernment of mind and matter is what you directly will see in the vipassana, in the sense that, when you take, for example, your in-breath, out-breath, this time when your in-breath, out-breath is very clear to you, very sharp, you can see its movements, and then at the same time, you can notice that the mind that is watching the in-breath, out-breath, or you're watching a sensation that's happening in the body, say a pulling sensation. While you're watching that pulling sensation very clearly, and then at the same time, you also see that the mind that is paying attention to the body. And then here, you begin to see that no matter how you pay attention at that level of development, you only see this mind that is the one that is observing the mind, and the matter. The matter, that means the body here. That means the one of the elements. It can be warm, can be cold, can be something that is moving, can be in-breath, out-breath, can be rising, falling. It doesn't matter. You watch it, and then every time that you see it, you only see this mind and matter. And when you see this mind and matter, and your mind is very clear, sharp, you don't see a soul, you don't see a self, or you don't see the third entity, or you don't see a God at this moment also. Although your mind is sharp and your mind is clear, you only see these two entity, the mind and the matter. And while you are observing these two, again and again, here is where the mind is begin to purify. It begins to purify from wrong view, in the sense that in the past, you may be taking up the view of self, the view of a soul, or the view of a God, and so on. But this time, there's none. Your mind is so clear. You pay attention to the body. You pay attention to what is going on with the body and mind. You only see these two things, these two entities. That's why while you're observing it, at the behind there, the purification is taking place. That's why it's called purification of view and knowledge of discerning of mind and matter. You see what I mean? All right. So they are all similar in that sense. So this is their beginning path. So hopefully that those who are in the beginning of practice, this one, if you really try the walking, the sitting, don't be lazy and so on, you can able to achieve it. Not to say it's difficult. I wouldn't say it's easy. I wouldn't say it's that difficult. It's about putting the effort inside there. So all these 16 insight knowledge, you will see them. All this purification or all this knowledge, you will see them along the way. But it's not easy for us to define them. And also when you actually develop, it's not like a stairs, like one step, of a very clear step. You're not going to be able to see it in that way. You're not going to see it in that way. Everything is more like a gradual development. It's a very gradual path. Sometimes the gradualness is so almost so flat, as if like you think that you are not progressing anything. So a lot of things is happening. But here is when you are experiencing something. This is all this knowledge means how you experience your nature of your body and mind. So the first insight is that you're able to discern the mind and matter, and you don't see the third entity. Therefore, behind it, the purification of view or purification of wrong view is already taking place. That's why it's called the purification of view here. Actually, the bracket there, wrong view, not just view, wrong view. Now, so you keep on meditating, you keep on trying day in, day out, morning, afternoon, night, day after day, Then you keep on trying. Then there will become the time that the second insight knowledge will begin to appear to you. Now again, when it appears to you, it's called the knowledge of discernment of condition. Sometimes they use the word knowledge of conditions. It's perfectly all right. Pachaya parikahanyana. So, to seeing the nature of condition here, what conditions are we seeing here? Now, in the Visuddhimagga, they talk about 12 dependent origination. You have to see your past life, future lives, and all that thing. Some teachers says you must. If you don't have those things, you cannot go further with the insight. Many teachers also says you don't need to. You don't need to. Those past life, or you see those dependent origination and those things, if you have the ability, perhaps it comes with you. But if you don't have it, you still can able to pass through all this past life, which I'm not going to go into that because it's kind of like a lengthy debate now. I don't know. After that, I'm right, that he is wrong, that they are right, and I'm wrong, and all that thing. Don't need to go in. But what I can say to you is that you need to see conditions. You need to see conditions in the sense of now, because you see this mind and matter. And you take note, for example, like you take a note of this rising and falling. And earlier on, when you take note of this rising and falling, you know that the mind that is knowing the rising and falling. So now the discernment on condition is that he begins to see how this mind and matter are interacting with each other. How they are interacting with each other. Therefore, you begin to see one causing another thing to arise. Say this time you take a rising and falling. For a simple thing, sometimes you begin to see the mind arises first, then only the rising take place. Or the mind, you see a mind that arises at the beginning of it, then you see the in-breath that's taking place. And the mind that is coming out, then the out-breath is taking place, or the falling is taking place. You begin to see the mind coming, then followed by the matter. Just now, the earlier part, when the development part, you only see mind and matter, you don't see how we interact. But now you see how we interact. You see the mind arises, breath arises. You see the mind arises, breath disappear, or breath in or out, Or sometimes people will see when they are doing walking meditation, when they don't notice the mind arises, then only the movement can start walking. Only the right step, left step, right step, left step can start. Or the lifting, pushing, dropping can start. Without that intention, without that mind, they cannot able to see what is going on. So here they begin to see the nature of the intention. And a wish that is coming up, then something taking place. Or a mind that arises, then method taking place, something taking place. It can be the interaction can be mind and matter, or the interaction can be mind and mind. In the sense that you see a consciousness arises, then after that it followed by thoughts. It followed by some desire. But clearly you notice that there's a thought that arises. There's a consciousness that arises first before the next thing happens. Then again here, you begin to see the consciousness and all the thoughts that follow after that. Cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. So you will see a lot of this nature of this cause and effect. And at this time also, the understanding of karma that we learn so much here, now you begin to see them as they are. Conditioning, not in the sense that karma in the sense of this life and next life, but karma that happening here, what is happening after that. Cause and effect. Sometimes they call it conditioning. So that's why you call it the knowledge of discernment of conditions. So you can see many ways. As the mind becomes more sharper, as the mind becomes more penetrative, then the discernment of conditions here, that you can able to penetrate even more deeper, in the sense that every movement of your hand, it proceeded by that mind. For example, you think that your hand is just moving in this way, You think that your hand is just moving in one. No, there's a lot of mind moments are there, thoughts are there, or consciousness that arises, and then it moves a little bit of the hands. And then in between there, consciousness arises, and then only hands move a little bit again, and then consciousness, hand move, consciousness, hand move. Then, although you may see this is one smooth movement, but when you are actually meditating at that level, you notice that while the hand is moving, it's like a jagged. While it jagged in that sense, or it comes in as one stage, and each and every stage preceded by the consciousness. Then you see how this consciousness and mind is interacting so deeply. And while you are looking at it here, again and again, or sometimes some yogis, they even can to see it in a sense that while they are doing the walking, as they notice the whole lifting, just before the lifting, they notice the intention, or they notice the thought or the consciousness arises, and then only the legs move. Then when it moved right to the top there, and it wants to go into pushing, before the pushing takes place, the thought or the mind arises, or the intention arises, then only the leg starts going forward. Then before it drops, then again the intention or the mind again before the legs, the feet goes stepping on the floor. And then later part, within the single movement, they begin to see many movements within that lifting, and then each and every tiny movement comes with the thought and the consciousness, and you begin to see how deep that conditioning are taking place when the mind is sharp and clear. So when you are looking at those things, when you are observing at those things, then it's called the knowledge of discernment of conditioning. And when you are seeing it also, it's also by called overcoming doubt, purification by overcoming doubt, in the sense that what doubt are you overcoming here? Here, overcoming the doubt here is that the God aspect or the soul thing or the person or the Almighty that is make fatalism, the word is that sometimes people believe in the Almighty, or some gods is the God is the one who make me do this, God is the one is make me do that, the universal consciousness is the one who create me, and so on. You got all kinds of wrong notion. All kinds of wrong notion, all those notion is all cleared at this moment of time. You only see that all this movement is not caused by all this God or all this Almighty or all this external thing. It's just only the mind condition the body, or the mind condition the mind. All you see this is all those things, because therefore all the doubt about the God, the doubt about this one is all overcome at this moment of time. So it's called purification by overcoming doubt. Yeah. Now I begin to see things more clearly, right? That's why the practice under the 16 insight knowledge is trying to explain the purification. And this one also, the yogi will see them quite a lot. Now, this overcoming doubt and overcoming purification of overcoming view, for those who already like a Buddhist for a long time, you don't believe in like external God, you don't believe in like all these things, but you do not have much of a practice yet, let's say. Yeah? So when you go through, when you pass through these knowledges and so on, you don't feel that you are overcoming or purify anything, you know. Because there's just none. There's not much for you to purify because in the beginning part you don't have much of it. But for some people, for some people who believe in that, for strong attachment, if they happen to practice, then it can be quite shocking for them, because when the mind is even more sharper, even more clearer, they cannot find a God, they cannot find a consciousness, they cannot find the external consciousness, they cannot find all this controller or whatever they want to call it, you know. So that's why that's why you don't see it. But for those, as I said, those people who happen to have those type of view, you know, wrong view, then it can be very shocking to them. Okay, so this is what we call by overcoming doubt. The third one, the knowledge of comprehension here. Comprehension here is not under purification by overcoming doubt. It's also not under by knowledge of vision of path and not path. It's somewhere in between. It's somewhere in between. Knowledge of comprehension here, it means that when you begin to see the knowledge, you see all this conditioning, then as you keep on meditating, and you're going to show you in many ways, then you will begin to comprehend. That means you begin to see your objects of your mind, body objects. You begin to comprehend into, you know, for the sake of study, for the sake of, you're going to comprehend them into three different parts. In the sense that you're going to see them as anicca, you're going to see them as dukkha, and you're going to see them anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's the beginning part of it, you know, the beginning part of anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's not really the full part of it yet. But the knowledge of comprehension, that means you comprehend that particular object at that moment of time. You watch them. While you're watching them, they show you what? A lot of pain, a lot of unpleasantness, a lot of everything. Everything that is unpleasant at that moment of time. At that time, you comprehend those objects as dukkha. Okay. On another time, at that particular level also, you may comprehend as impermanent. The same object also that you are noticing earlier on as dukkha, this time you see, hey, how come it's just arise, it just come and change, it can more, it can less. Sometimes you can see the pain come and then it stay there for a while, then you can see how it disappear. Coming, arising, there's a arising, there's a staying, there's a disappearing. In the earlier part, in the knowledge of mind and matter and knowledge of condition, you don't see how they begin, how they sustain, and how they disappear. You only see that when they are, like, for example, in the first knowledge, you will see a lot of pain, but you only see that when it's already there already. It's already there. You don't see how actually it begins. But at the third knowledge of comprehension, you actually see how it begins, how it stays for a while, and actually you see how the pain ends. But of course, another pain comes up. And it's quite interesting. But your mind is not affected by it so much. You know, although there's a lot of changes happening right now, you are not affected by it. You can able to observe it. So this time, you comprehend the object as in the sense of impermanent. And sometimes when you watch this rising and falling and all these experiences, in breath, out breath, and so on, then at that time you notice that this in breath, out breath it can goes into like different way of in breath, out breath. Sometimes suka you want to go long, suka you want to go short. After that, you want to go long, a bit, one long, one short. After that, you want two long, three short. He wants to go around a little bit. Sometimes you stop a little bit. Sometimes you want to start a little bit. You have no control of it. He wants to do whatever he wants to do. At that time, you see it as anatta. You see the beginning to see the nature of anatta. So all these things are, although I mentioned it in three distinct part of it, but when you are meditating, it's all mixed together. You don't even have time to go and think, hey, this is anatta. No, you won't be able to understand. You won't be able to see it as whether this is anatta or dukkha and so on. And on. You will see it as it is. Don't even have to think about it also. You don't have to think about it. All you need to do is your mind and able to see them as they are. All right? So this is what we call knowledge of comprehension. And you keep meditating. Now, this is where it comes to the partner, where it becomes the 3 and the 4A. Now at the 4A here, the knowledge of arising and passing away, the tender knowledge of arising and passing away. Within knowledge 3 and 4A, here is where your 10 corruptions of insight, the vipassana upakilesa, the one that we just talked about last week, this is where it is happening a lot for many yogis. This is the part where it is, you think this is the part that it is really that a yogi can fall into the trap if it's not properly guided. And you see that at this moment of time, you have passed through a number of it's good experience of insight. It's in a sense of quite deep experience of insight. Have you gone to it? But your craving will not let you go. Your craving is still waiting for you, just around the corner. Just you give it a small little moment that you're not mindful. It already comes in. If you were to meditate, before that, you're going to see a lot of pain, a lot of tension, pulling, although your mind can still able to notice them. And here, suddenly the bliss comes in. The happiness comes in, and also the happiness comes in is because of your mind is sharp, your mind is clear, your mind is free from other gross defilements. All this sleepiness don't have, all this anger you don't have, all this restless mind you don't have. And then you feel good. You really feel good about your meditation, and then the bliss. And then the craving starts to walks in, quietly walks in, and then it just stay there for a while. Then your whole meditation, you stop for a while. So peaceful. So blissful, so beautiful, so nice. I never thought that vipassana is so wonderful, There you are. You get caught. Yeah. So the one that all these 16 insight knowledge, the 10 corruptions of insight, you're going to tie the whole thing around here. At a 3 at around 4 area. You're going to bring the whole thing there. That's why we don't have much time to discuss it because we have discussed it before. Somebody was asking me, Bante, how come you only mentioned 1 to 9, you didn't mention about 10? In the comments in the Facebook, but just to reply to you, we mentioned it. The number 10 is connected to number 1 to number 9 if you are not careful. So we don't have to mention again on the number 10, right? So they thought that I have not finished the 10 corruptions of insight. We covered it everything. So don't worry. So here I want to the corruptions of insight is coming here. And I said that these corruptions for each and every yogi can be very different. Some of you may have this peaceful tranquility. The mind is so quiet. Then you get attached to it. That's one type of. Or you have sit down there and then all the lights become very clear. If you're not careful, you can attach to it. And then, although at this moment of time you can able to meditate, you don't have sleepiness, your walking is very good, your sitting is very good, your energy is in a way is quite balanced, Then you think that you are a great yogi, you think that you're a wonderful yogi, you think that you're a better yogi than the next yogi that's sitting beside you. Then again, all your conceit arises. Yeah. So at this stage also, if you are again not careful without teacher's guidance, you can go into wrong view, thinking that this lights or this happiness is all nibbana. This is one of the part where this gets the 10 corruptions of insight gets optimum. But it can happen at the first and second two, It doesn't mean that it cannot happen. But it's most at the optimum at the third and fourth there. So, you see, as much as you want to purify your mind, the cravings start coming in. All right? So let's say you meditate already, then the happiness comes in. Then you hear, Bhante Kavesi says, be careful. Don't get attached to it. Okay. You sit there, you think, okay, not happy. Don't fall into it. Don't fall into it. Don't get attached. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, don't fall into it, because just not will do. Happy, tranquil. And all the lights come in, or all the images comes in, or all comes with the faith one, and then you're not just seeing, just not happy, not just conceit, just not. Don't go and fall into their trap. When you note them, exactly because you note them, then it comes to the fifth purification, by knowledge and vision of what path and what is not path. Here you begin to understand that if you don't note them, if you don't pay attention to the object, then if it's a happiness, if the craving is there, it will bring you into a wrong path. And if you're mindful, if you notice the happiness, or you notice the joy that arises, or you begin to notice your objects again, then you go on to a right path. That's why you call the knowledge of vision of what is path and what is not path. Once you're able to understand that these corruptions are not, this craving, attachment, the attachment to this happiness, lights, and so on, these are not the actual object. These are not the actual object. Therefore, you come back again to rising, falling, come back again to the in-breath, out-breath, come back again to the pain, and so on, and you keep noticing that. And if you can able to do that again and again, then you come to the knowledge of vision of what is path and what is not path, because now you can differentiate. You don't fall into the traps. Then you come into the right way. Okay? Now, before we go to the last one, 4B, at the end of the 4B, the 4B here means that it's still the knowledge of arising and passing away at the mature level. It means that when you turn the mind and begin to notice again the mind and matter, and you see how they change, this time you see them change in quite a fast manner. All the form and shape of your rising, falling, or in breath, out breath, it does not become clear to you. All you see at this moment is just, as the words say, arising and passing away. If you put your attention to the pain, it's just arising and passing away. Again and again and again, incessant. It cannot stop. And you notice the breath again and again and again and again. It's arising and passing away. There's no like coming out, going in, coming out, going in. It's just arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Only if you again you pay attention to the pain here. Again, it shows you the same characteristic of arising and passing away. Any object that your mind pays attention to is only arising and passing away. Now, if you're able to see that, then knowledge or vision of the way. Now that's not path you know already. Now you are on the way to Nibbana. So the moment you're able to see this arising and passing away, that is where you begin to see the deep impermanence, the deep type of anicca, the real anicca, the proper anicca. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to stop until the knowledge of vision, by the way, and then we're going to begin to talk about 4 to 12 after Chinese New Year. Hopefully you all remember. Or if you cannot, you listen again before you start off with this, because here from the 4 to 12 and 13 and so on, you're going to talk about the deep impermanence, the deep dukkha, and the deep anatta. How this anicca, dukkha, anatta will change your whole deep perception to bring you into realization of Nibbana. All right? So that will be on the next talk. On Tuesday next week. On Tuesday, not on Monday, but on Tuesday next week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay, that's all for tonight. Okay. All right.